Unbelievable situation just happened, and I spoke up. A guy got on the bus that I take to work every day. He sat next to a young woman who immediately asked him to move. He did. Then when the bus got to a shopping hub, another young woman got on the bus. This creepy motherfucker got up and went and sat next to her, trapping her in her seat. So I very loudly asked the woman if she was okay, and of course, she said she wasn't. I hollered at the creep to move. He had the audacity to tell me not to speak to him. Another passenger tried to tell him to move, too. We then informed the bus driver, who made him move. I took his photo and have blasted it on my Facebook. The young woman is okay, but understandably shaken. I'll be sending his picture to the local police stations and contacting Adelaide Metro. It was terrifying to get involved, but the fear that young woman had on her face was gut-wrenching. The audacity of this man, to invade her personal space, to be so arrogant about it. I am deeply disturbed by this. And to the young woman he first sat next to, I am so sorry I didn't speak up then. ETA to clear up any confusion. This was a bus with maybe 4 other passengers on it. A bus that seats around 30. So plenty of seats he could have used, but also he deliberately got up and crammed himself on a small bench next to a young woman. It was and will forever be completely unacceptable in this context. Good for you. It definitely feels great to speak up, especially when others have your back. Way to stand up. Thank goodness the other people on the bus backed you up too. People like that guy need to be reminded of the boundaries, and are really only brave when they find someone alone. Public transportation is not his hunting ground. Is this Adelaide as in South Australia? Well done. It's honestly terrifying to do anything like that. You are brave as hell. Those women will remember you forever, and I hope that this courage spreads. You deserve a treat tonight. You are a peach, and thank you. You know what I'm tired of? People whipping out their phones when witnessing something where stepping in would make a difference. These skunks have some misplaced idea we don't care about each other. Well, we do, so stay in your lane, asswipes. Men aren't used to being called out, and this world will be better once they know it will happen. That's the fun part of being a middle-aged hag to these jagoffs. I always intervene on public transit. I do a good don't fuck with me crazy eyes that usually shuts most of this shit down. Good on you. Good job making people feel more comfortable. I wish more people would step in. I think we all have our snapping point with this BS. I was in line at Target and this guy starts interrogating a mom buying a ton of Pampers about biodegradability, etc. I pointed out that the box says do not flush. He keeps yapping. Eventually I just told him he needed to leave her alone. A security guy came along and kept him moving. I saw him when I approached the checkout, just sitting at the Starbucks bar with no coffee, watching people at the self-checkout. Lonely, bored old man whose family got tired of listening to his shit, so now he spews it at random women. Sadly a tale as old as Fox News. Thank you for being so brave and helping those women. I can't imagine. I'm here in Texas and I have recently started being as completely prepared as state laws allow. I don't like it. In fact, I hate it. But it is no longer safe in this state for women. IMHO. Or maybe not humble, since I'm a vocal harpy about it. Anyway, thank you for being a strong warrior in times of fear. A few months ago I stopped moving out of the way for men on the street and in stores and places. The amount of men who've been shoulder checked and then looked at me like I did something crazy is astronomical. Get out of my damn way. I'm not moving for you anymore. You're a goddamn hero. Nobody ever stepped in when I was a teenager being creeped on public transit, surrounded by adults. You did a good thing. Be careful that your FB post and FB identity doesn't get to him. Stay safe. Yes, good. Good. Good for you. This is a call for all of us. Well, me to be more aware of my surroundings and start calling out when I see this kind of disgusting behavior. I'm old now, past 40, so I'm now in the invisible to men part of my life. Which is good. It is a blessing. It gives me the chance to speak loud and angrily on behalf of younger ladies like this poor girl, who are too uncomfortable or scared to say something for themselves, which is a very valid and understandable reaction. Thank you for reminding me to pay attention. Good for you. Sometimes I am worried that if I speak up, people will think I am overreacting or read the situation wrong because they didn't witness anything. It's good to think someone could very well be looking out for you and have your back. My go-to for creeps on the bus was carrying a ballpoint pen. I'd take the lid off and hold it in my fist and hold my fist to my thigh, point facing out. Any creeps pressing on me would get poked or get ink on their trousers. Only one outraged old man dared say anything. I'd told him he wouldn't be having a problem if he stayed in his own fucking seat. Looked like he'd been slapped. Thank you. So often weird things happen and nobody says anything. Hell yeah, sis, good for you. Jesus, yeah. Even as a dude, I can't stand using public transport here in Adelaide. There's always weirdos, crackheads, wannabe eshays making it uncomfortable. I can't imagine having creeps to worry about as well. I'm proud of you. Avoiding conflict is so much easier. Good on you for taking initiative and putting the dipshit in his place. Not all heroes wear capes. Fellow Adelaidean here. Thanks for speaking up. Anyone who sits next to someone for any reason when there are spare seats can do one. As far as I'm concerned. This is why I drive now. You did a good thing. I wish there were more folks like you out there. My takeaway from this thread is this: the men defending bus guy is not a creep and need to understand the intentions are likely themselves like the bus creep guy. They feel entitled to women's attention and time and regularly bother them, even getting into their personal space to do so. I got op even before the edits. So at this point I'd say, if you don't get why blocking a woman in her seat after sitting next to her when there are 4 people on the bus is a big tell that you are also a creep. What did the guy do that got the first woman to immediately ask him to move? Thanks for speaking up. Most people are too much a coward and don't want to get involved. Way to go. This is the opening scene of Inside Man on Netflix. Not saying this didn't happen to you, but it's almost exactly what happens in the show, albeit slightly less dramatic. Good work. I wonder what he did upon sitting beside the first woman that caused her to tell him to move. How dare that N? Wait a minute, in what age we are? I'm sorry, I don't get why seating beside a young woman in a crowded bus would be creepy. Many times I had to seat close to a woman in a bus and never considered myself creepy. Moving to another seat just to be close to another one OFC is creepy, so I'm glad it turned out to be the right call by the first woman. What did he do other than sitting next to her? I have to assume the person has some kind of social disorder, mental incapacity. I've seen similar things happen myself. And although it's definitely creepy and wrong, the person has no idea of that fact and instead see it as courting in their own distorted world.